The Battle of Thermopylae, or it's more famously known as the Last Stand of the 300, was a very crucial battle. It was the only way the Persians could get access to Greece, and it was the only way the Greek army could stop the Persians. They were very heavily outnumbered. One of the city-states that gave soldiers to the Greek army was Sparta. They were a very military-dominant society. If you couldn't help Sparta, if you couldn't aid them in any way, you couldn't live there. You were discarded. You weren't useful. From the time they were born, Spartan citizens were evaluated. If they were seen as sickly or deformed, they were left on the mountain to die and they were just discarded. This ensured that only the strong could fight in the Spartan army and only the strong would live in Sparta. The Greeks used the Thermopylae Pass very heavily to their advantage. It was a very narrow pass. Only a few hundred men could be in there at any given time. On the left they had the sea, and on the right they had a very tall mountain at about a 90-degree angle. So the only way the Persians could get through to Greece was to go through the Thermopylae Pass. Effectively, what the Greeks did was wedge themselves in the pass and refuse to move. They used the phalanx formation to fight the Persians. This really helped them because the Greeks were heavily outnumbered. They were outnumbered 28-1, about 200,000 Persians to 7,000 Greeks. After a few days of fighting, the King Xerxes of Persia was very demoralized, very discouraged. He could not figure out how to way to get past the Thermopylae Pass. He couldn't go left, there was the sea. He couldn't go right, there was the mountain. He couldn't go forward, the Greeks were slaughtering his men. They used their heavy armor and their fighting skills to defeat him. The Greek armor was very heavy. They had helmets, breastplates, armor for their arms and their legs. The Persian infantry had very little to no armor, and they had shields made out of sticks. So if you can just imagine a sword going through a stick shield, it's not going to work, it's going to break, and the man's going to die. But after a few days of fighting, Xerxes cannot figure out a way to get out of this situation. He's very demoralized. And a Greek trader comes to him and tells him about a hidden goat path around the mountain that will allow him to surround the Greek army and flank them. The Greeks hear of this and they decide to retreat. Well, how do you evacuate thousands of people quickly and quietly? You can't do it. The Greeks didn't want the Persians to know about this plan because they would see it and the Persians would attack and the plan would be ruined. So the Greeks did this at night. And in the morning, 1,300 remained, 300 Spartans and 1,000 Thespians. The Persian army surrounded them and effectively just slaughtered them. The 1,300 men fought with swords, stones, and towards the very end, their fists and their teeth, they fought to the death to the last man standing. After the battle, Xerxes marched his army to the sea where he met up with his navy. When he met up with his navy, he decided to sail to Athens. When he finally got to Athens, he saw the Greek army waiting for him. He turned around and sailed back to Persia. He'd had enough punishment at the Pass of Thermopylae. An interesting decision on the king of Sparta, Leonidas, was to stay at Thermopylae. Was he using military strategy? Was he thinking, every second I can delay the Persian army gives the Greek army another chance to go back to Persia, go back to Athens, and defend the motherland? Or was he simply following his Spartan culture that's been ingrained in him since he was a boy? No retreat, no surrender. The highest honor you can have is death on the battlefield for Sparta. A monument is dedicated to the Spartans at the Pass of Thermopylae. It reads, "Tell them in Sparta, passerby, here, obedient to our laws, we lie."